Hey guys, Silverlord here, back again with another action figure review. Today we'll be taking a look at Star Wars Black Series Amazon exclusive. Oh, geez, a little bit. In this case, not too bad. So we'll say a little geez. Today we'll be taking a look at the Jedi Survivor Battle Droid 3-pack, brought to us by the, we'll say, fine folks over at Hasbro for now, but there are some things with this 3-pack that I absolutely love, like a chance getting these 3 characters again without having to pay a buttload of money for them. But there are some things about this 3-pack that I don't like too much. In fact, not at all. So with that being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into meat and taters of this review. Take a look, see at all these guys have to offer in terms of accessories, starting off with the Battle Droid. And here's my first problem. What the Sam Hill is this? What is this? What is this? I've never seen a Battle Droid use this ever. Do we get the standard blaster for the Battle Droid? Nope. But we get this weird spawn looking weapon with 2 blades on it curved outward. It's a weird axe. What is this? I don't know what this is. Whatever. That's stupid. Alright. I don't care who you are. Then for the Magna Guard, we get the shock staff, the electro staff with the effect parts on it, and the 2 little Weenie Hut Juniors on the ends. Which, by the way, if you have the little Weenie Hut Junior ends, you do not need these. Put them on there just cuz, but yeah, you don't need these effect parts when you already have these little bulbs on the end. Those are the effects. They do look like that. The first Magna Guard, the only other Magna Guard other than this one, came with an alternate staff for those effects to be put on specifically. They're supposed to go on a specific staff, and they never include that staff when they include those electro effects. The Frankenstein's monster, Duros Bounty Hunter, is it? The Frankenstein monster Cad Bane figure we looked at for Halloween, that had the same thing going on. So yeah, it's a little weird there. But wrapping up accessories, we have the same blast effect for the Super Battle Droid, and I already tried putting this on a couple of times. It's not happening. I don't know what to tell you. This effect sucks. Big fat hairy donkey balls. At least for me, I can never seem to get the freaking thing on. I can get it on one barrel, but I can't get it on the other. I didn't monkey with it as much as I did with the regular Super Battle Droid, which I did have to return to Big Bad Toy Store because darn cannon busted on mine. So yeah, not a good effect part, at least not in practice. In theory, it is, but I feel like a swappable arm cannon would have been a better option. Or a blast effect for the arm cannon this Super Battle Droid has. But before we get to him, let's talk about the regular Battle Droid. And right out the gate, mine had a QC issue with his hand. The disc was not molded properly, and neither was the arm. So it will not hinge. It will straight up just like pop off if I move it. So I cannot move it in the review. That said, the other wrist does hinge. It's a very tight hinge, but it does work. You can see there, it does work quite well, and it's not gonna break or anything like that. This isn't even broken. You know, there's a slit in the disc, but that's just how it came out the mold. But it has been a hot minute since I looked at this Battle Droid figure. I think we're in like the midst of COVID when I looked at the last one on the channel. I think it was a red colored one from the Star Wars Battlefront line GameStop had at the time. So I know there were some stormtroopers. They weren't part of it, but I also looked at Count Dooku and Commander Bly from Clone Wars era stuff. But as far as this guy's articulation goes, he's pretty loaded. He's got a ball joint in the head. He can tilt a little bit. His little ear thingies on the back of his head will hinge up, back down. He's got a hinge in his neck, so he could shift like a pile driver. He does have rotation in the neck as well. I had to crack that loose actually, but he does have rotation in the neck, and he does have a extending neck, so you can fold his head down. Like so. And kind of collapse his body up when he's in storage mode here. We'll just do that quick. It's not that big. Just fold up the legs, kind of bend the torso forward. I guess the head just kind of sits over the torso. I think that's as far as that'll go. And then you pop the antennas in the backpack down. They kind of snap in place, they're kind of loose, but they do stay. But that's pretty much storage mode for the battle droids, so they can swoop down or be dropped down and then pop up and go Ratcher, Ratcher, and get blasted to smithereens by clone troopers because nobody F's with the clone troopers. Popping his neck back in. That is a tiny pig. Look how small that thing is. They do have a lot of give, these figures. They're very flexible in some places, so you shouldn't snap anything, but be careful. Anyways, he does have 360 in the shoulder, as well as pretty good out. I think that's a disc hinge. That's either a disc hinge or a really solid ball joint. He's got like these caps on his shoulder, so I can't tell if that's a disc hinge or a ball joint. But he does have a swivel in the bicep, single jointed elbow, swivel in the below the elbow, and then his wrist has a swivel, and then of course the hinge. Now in order to get the proper hinge for holding stuff, you do have to turn the lower arm like this, and that way he can get the up and down in the wrist instead of the in and out. It's kind of just how the battle droids are. Then he does have a ball joint in the torso. Can lean forward pretty far. Lean back not so much. It does rotate a tad, but you're not going to get a ton out of that. These pieces are like separate here, but you don't want to crank on them too much. They are plastic, you could snap them, but they're not fragile or anything. His hips will kick forward and back. Out is not happening. I think these are just ball pegs. He does not appear to have a thigh cut. Can't tell. It does not appear that he's got a thigh cut at all, which is odd because he does have he's got a single knee, no rotation at all in the legs. I'm surprised by that. Yeah, he's got like no rotation. I'd have to bust out one of my old ones that's more broken in, but I will say this guy is pretty weak in the knees. That said, he does have ball hinge feet, surprisingly. They will swivel, hinge, and then the ankle rocker on this guy is just ridiculous. It just wants to pop back into place. Same with this side. Yeah, see, it just wants to pop back into place. Doesn't even really want to rock. But that is the battle droid. He is okay. Not my favorite droid ever, but I do like having another one in the tannish color, even though he's scuffed up to all heck, which is the point of this set. It's supposed to be kind of battle damaged. Speaking of battle damage, this guy right here has seen some crap, because look at his ratty arse cape. I do not like this cape. This is worse than the Motu Revelation, like, Andra capes that we saw from Mattel. I don't... What is this cape? What is this a cloak? Is this a cape? I don't know what this is, but it sucks. This thing is lame. What is this? What is this? It's like a scarf with a hood on it and some straps that go across his torso. Why does he not just have the regular cape with some holes in it? I don't understand that. Like, peeling this back, you see the top of his head is freaking white? You see that? Top of his head is white. White is Christmas. And then his hood thingy is like the same color as the cloak, obviously. It's like, why is the top of his head white? Why do we have, like, different ranks and their battle damage? Like, is this an elite freaking Magna Guard? Are these 3 specific droid characters? I don't understand. What is going on with the set? I thought these were just going to be the same figures with some scuffs painted on them. And, like, the same, like, the droid was going to have his gun. Or the battle droid was going to have his gun. This guy was going to have a shock staff of some kind. The super battle droid was going to have that lame effect I'll never use. But instead, they're, like, way different than I thought they were going to be. And I'm, like, kind of okay with it, because I didn't just buy the same 3 figures again. But I kind of did just want to buy the same 3 figures again. Especially this guy, because he's sold out. Like, everywhere, the original one. So, yeah, it's kind of weird what they did there. But since it's been a while since we looked at that Magna Guard, I'll break down the articulation right quick. His head is on a double ball peg, but it's pretty hindered by all the stuff going on. His shoulders will rotate forward and back. It will hinge out. He does have a little bit of butterfly in there. I will say, his pauldrons stay on better than the other one by quite a bit. So I do like that. He's got a single hinge in the elbow with rotation there. He's got a swivel at whatever this is, his wrist, I guess. Mid-wrist, his forearm. And then he's got a hinge in the wrist. Much like the battle droid, you can have it go in and out or up and down. Obviously, I prefer in and out or up and down because that's how he holds his shock staff, but that's just me. He's got a ball joint in the torso. Can't really lean too far forward and back because of all this cloak. His cloak is like just stuffed in his torso. It's kind of lame. You could take it off. I could easily take it off and take the plastic hood piece off his head, but I really don't want to do that. I like leaving my Magna Guards with their capes on. It's because it's kind of a pain in the butt to get that hood piece back on, but maybe I can find the hood piece and the cloak from the other one and put them on this guy, and then he'll be ready to rock. But he does have the white on the top of his head. Why? Why not just make a battle damage Magna Guard? Just make him regular. I don't need a commando guard or whatever this is. I don't know what. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? Is his name Steve? Like, what is going on here? His hips will kick forward and back. Out, not very far. He's got a little bit of a thigh cut on the ball peg itself. And he does have a single knee, kind of loose in the knees. He weak in the knees too, not as bad as the battle droid. And then he does have a rotating knee, like right here, but it don't do much of crap. And then his foot is on just a hinge with a rocker. It's very gummy there, especially on this side. This side feels like the foot's maybe a little loose or something, and that's why it's doing that. But it doesn't feel like the foot's plugged in all the way. So, yeah. I love the Magna Guard figure, and I will say this one has a little bit better quality than the other one, but man, he's got some accents that I just didn't need. I would have rather just had a battle damage Magna Guard. I'm okay having a little battle damage, but you know, you're adding the white paint and stuff. It's like, what are these guys? Is this a specific storyline? Somebody tell me, because I'm unsure as to what is going on with this set. Now, this guy here, I am a little bit more familiar with, because this is some Clone Wars animated era stuff going on here. This is, I think, a Super Battle Droid Commando. That's why he has this gun arm here. And the white paint on his upper back. If that's what you call it. Is that the back? I don't know. Again, I would have rather just had another Super Battle Droid. But it is nice to have something a little bit different. Especially with the arm cannon. That's a nice touch. Again, he's got the regular cannon with that effect piece that you can, you know, fight to get on. But good luck to you. I will say, this thigh on mine was a little stuck. I had to heat it up and cool it, and then it cracked loose and works just fine. And As far as his articulation goes, his head is on a hinge, I think. It's kind of wiggles, really. His shoulders will rotate. He'll kind of shift back and forth, a little bit of a butterfly. Again, he's got a ball peg. It's a double ball peg shoulder, so you get a little bit more play out of that. They go up and down a little bit. He's got a swivel in the elbow, hinge in the elbow, swivel at the forearm, and then his hand will bend and actually rotate. I didn't know this on the other one, but the hand does actually rotate. I wouldn't advise swiveling it around unless you've heated up this piece here and you bend it back without breaking it, but you know, it is what it is. You can rotate the hands though, so that's cool. I did not know that before. Is this hand different from the other one? It can't be. It's got to be like the same kind of grippy hand. Is it? I think the other one's thumb wasn't connected to its fingers. I can't remember because, again, I don't have my other one because I had to send it back to Big Bad Toy Store. So I'll double check that, I guess, and maybe follow up on that in another Black Series video, but his hand feels more like a fist, whereas the other one, I think the thumb was not connected to the other fingers there. That said, the cannon arm gets a little bit less range, which kind of sucks, but it does rotate still at the elbow and at the cannon itself. No blast effect for it. It would have been nice if that blast effect could plug into the end of it, but the barrel's not hollowed out, so you can't do that. Hips will kick forward and back, out a little bit. They do kind of shift around on that ball peg, but you do get your thigh cut. Again, I had to heat this one up. He does have a diaphragm joint, but it's not the best thing ever. It doesn't really crunch forward at all. It's kind of stuck. It kind of wobbles. And then we do have a hinge in the knee with rotation. And he's got a hinge in the foot with a rocker. So there you go. That is your lot. It's a cool set. If you missed these guys, then this is a no-brainer. You know, you're going to want some battle droids for your Trade Federation. But at the same time, this is not these are not the droids I was looking for. I was kind of just hoping for the same, especially with the Magna Guard, because I want that original cape. You know, I could take the capes off, but this guy's got that white head. You know, it's just weird. It's just weird. And the battle droid, I can give him a gun, but I had to contact Amazon and get a replacement for him. So that'll be here in the next few days, as the time I'm recording this, which is way in advance, of course. But yeah, man, that's the Jedi Survivor Battle Droid 3-pack. It's cool. I dig it a lot, but man, I kind of would have just liked a regular Battle Droid, regular Magna Guard, and regular Super Battle Droid again. Just because I have this display in mind, and I kind of can do it, and I kind of can't. But I am happy to have some battle damage versions at the very least. So before we wrap this up, let's bring in our two regulars. The Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibilith. Right there. Hopefully we don't knock over little spindly battle droid buddy there. There we go. And we have the Spawn, the infamous and Spawn, who as usual, yeah, Super Battle Droid is pretty big, but good old Al Simmons, of course, who was barely on screen as part of the usual. Oh, there you go. I think you can see his head now. Good old Al Simmons, as usual, towers over everyone. So, with that being said, it is time now that we wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and while I do still think that a Droid Army Builder 3-pack like this is a very nice thing to have available, I do think that some of the choices made may be a turnoff for some people, starting with the fact that the Super Battle Droid is, I think, a Super Battle Droid commander, hence the cannon arm and the white paint on his upper back there. And then, of course, we do have the different style cape and or cloak on the Magna Guard. I think most people would have rather have gotten the standard cloak with some tatters in it if it's meant to be a battle-damaged Magna Guard. I mean, he does still have the headpiece from the original, so it would have been nice to see something closer to the original's cape with the figure. And then, of course, we have the standard battle droid, who hasn't been out, or at least as far as I know, for quite some time. That doesn't even come with the standard battle droid blaster. Instead, he comes with this weird double-bladed axe thing, which I'm still perplexed as to what exactly it is. So if anyone knows what that is, please let me know in the comments below. That said, there's also the QC issue on my particular battle droid figure in the left hand there. So yeah, well, I do think this is a good set, especially since it only costs $70 instead of $75. They cut $5 off. They've been doing that a lot lately. I've noticed that with some of the Marvel Legends 2-packs. Some of them have been $45, some of them have been $50. It's been an interesting year for the fine folks over at Hasbro, to say the least. But if you are looking for some droids to bolster up your Trade Federation, then this set is a definite must-have. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.